Hello, friends, and welcome into the PHNX Bets Daily podcast presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app. It's just official sports betting partner of the NBA. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcast, leave a 5-star review. I'm Johnny Venerable, joined by Mr. Espo this morning. Is Shane still at the tailgate event last night and could not make it in? Maybe because he's, on a street corner somewhere asleep.
He forgot wireless mics and he's scrambling around downtown Phoenix trying to identify where our wireless mics are. So he had to attend to his first job of finding the crap that he's lost.
Okay, that's fair. He's also lost his mind, which you can see that every day here at PHNX Bets Daily Podcast.
Before we get too far, is there a reason why I feel like I'm on a 1980s bet show and I'm Biff coming back with the Sports Almanac? What was the music?
You cannot be on the show if you're going to disrespect the synth that we have, that Shane and I have craftedly and carefully picked and selected to be at the top of our show. We love 80s synth. It's some of our favorite music. Thankfully, he and I are lockstep in that. We're not lockstep in many things, but our music choice, like we were on the same page, on the same beat, no pun intended, from the start with the selection of that. So it's just some cool jams as you open up the DraftKings Sportsbook app and you get settled in for a long day of betting.
To utilize a betting term, it's a bad beat. All right.
It's not a bad beat. It is the best beat possible. Speaking of some bad beats, though, Espo, I've been on fire. Shane and I had a 9 for 10 day just 2 days ago. He is MIA on a day where I have to suck it up and eat an 0 for 4. And it wasn't as okay. First of all, the Nuggets ended up winning
Barely.
by I think 7. No. It was like 7 points. That was close. The Suns, that was close. The Celtics game, I did not foresee the Heat just destroying the Celtics because I feel like the Heat are a little bit fraudulent. They've got like a first half vibe to them, and they'd lost 4 or 5 coming into that game yesterday. So I mean, just not a good day for my Celtics, as it was not a good day for shooting for the Suns, even though they came out on top with Devin Booker and Mikal Bridges. Did not hit that. I went 2 for 2 on my props the day before. So I guess you could say I was due for a little regression. I did not expect an 0 for day, though.
I always expect you to have an 0 for day, so
That's rude.
I was not shocked. Yeah, look, you're you know me, and that's all right. Not everybody can be. So
I do know you very well, and I know that you are rocking the sweetest hat imaginable that I do not have the benefit of yet. I've got my New Era Arizona Cardinal hat on, but I will gladly trade it for when I can sport a PHNX hat via the PHNX merchandise locker. They're on sale now, $30 for supremely high quality items, including the shirt that Espo is rocking. I've got my PHNX Cardinal shirt. Maybe we're just effing better from a season a lot of people would like to forget, but you can get that now at gophnx.com's PHNX merchandise locker. I do live in Maricopa. Why does that need to be displayed on the screen?
There's a reason. Fun fact. We ship worldwide except for Maricopa, so you're gonna have to come up here to get your hat, Johnny.
They purposely avoid it. Actually, we just have one mailbox for the entire town, and we all have to kind of go scramble through our Amazon packages. God, I hate this town so much, but I do love this show. I do love gambling via the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I want to remind everybody, in preparation for this Saturday's Final Four, college basketball fans, join the action on the court during the biggest tournament of the year with DraftKings. Turn your team's victory into your own big win. New customers can bet just $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. It's that simple. DraftKings customers can also bet on college hoops with same game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for an even bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. And best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. It's a call to action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use that promo code PHNX. Bet $5 on any college hoops team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. 21 and over. Arizona only. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customer only. A minimum of $5 deposit is required. Eligibility restrictions, just $5. I've had people push back. They're like, I only got 3. I'm like, okay, well, save up, save your pennies, and get to 5. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. So what was the environment like last night as the Suns came out victorious and we had a phenomenal tailgate event. Espo, what was that environment like for those who weren't there?
I had a drink out of an actual pineapple at the Ainsworth.
Oh,
So that was
wow.
the vibes. They were immaculate, my friend.
They were okay.
Immaculate.
Is that a thing? We're officially taking that from DMVR. We're not creative enough to take our own thing.
Now look, I'm doing it as kind of a parody
Okay.
of DNVR at times. So
You're the only one that's doing it as a parody. Can I'm gonna get on my soapbox here and feel like we at PHNX, we're gonna do things a little bit. Can we think of our own slogans, please? I hear that and I think DMVR and we're PHNX. How about the vibes are on fire because desert and the suns? I just came up with a better one.
got it beat. It's a dry vibe.
It's a dry vibe. Yep. It's a dry, not desert vibe.
Except for when I'm drinking out of a pineapple, then it's a wet vibe. I'm
It's got a different
sloppy.
connotation. Yeah, that's a sloppy connotation we don't want to hit on. We do want to hit on Mr. Espo, your picks for tonight, because we need to elevate our game after my big stinker of 0 for 4 last night. What do you got for us tonight?
Yeah, well, first off, I bet on a spring training game the last time I was here, and I hit Diamondbacks beating the Dodgers. So I think I'm invincible when it comes to these picks. So I'm taking Nets -2, Clippers +2, because right now I think the Clippers are going to be a beast in the final games of this season. I'll take the Cavs +6. So there's 3-0 for you, Johnny.
We'll see about that. I typically like to go heavy on the Brooklyn Nets. I do think that right now I'm going to go the opposite way because I love how Milwaukee's playing. I don't know if that's good news or bad news for the Phoenix Suns, as I think they're right now a collision course for an NBA Finals rematch. I do think the Bucks win in Brooklyn tonight. I think they win handedly. So you can take the +2 or you can take the money line for that matter. Giannis, to me, is playing a different level of ball. He was fantastic the other night against Philadelphia. I think right now he's going to have a statement month of April to remind everybody that hey, they're the defending champions, and specifically Eastern Conference. Because I think the Eastern Conference Espo is much more fun and interesting than the West right now, and that's great if you're a Suns fan. But there's more parity, and I think we're going to have more competitive series. Speaking of the West, the Jazz are going to slaughter the Lakers at home tonight, -13.5. If this was -15, I would love it. I think that we could be looking at something to the effect of like a 115-90 kind of game. Some 25-point victory, I think, is not out of the question. And then the Bulls have been playing garbage, but have been showing signs of life here in the last couple of weeks. They just beat the Wizards. They beat the Cavs. So they've won 2 of 3, and I like them to take care of business. I am not buying Espo, and I saw your tweet about not wanting to face the Clippers in the first round. If you're a Suns fan, if the Suns are worried about the Clippers with Paul George, who has not played a meaningful game in upwards of 10 months, and the fact that their team is just all grit and determination, the Suns are a historic team this season. They're on pace to break the road record win in NBA history. If I'm worrying about the lowly Clippers in the first round, I think the Suns have bigger problems than that.
I'm not worried that they're going to lose. The Clippers are a team that muck things up, like to play like they're fake tough guys and try to do things that are questionable at best. I just know how important health is for this team to win a title, and I'd like to avoid the team that looks like they're trying to purposefully injure people at times in round 1. That was my only thing. I'm not afraid of anybody in the West. The only team that slightly concerns me is the Bucks because of Giannis and what they did in the finals last year, but this team is a better team than last year. So very few people actually scare me. I just don't want to see any injuries and having to deal with that. A series that gets forced to like 6 games because of the way they play and the way they like to harass people. So
what would you do? Are you secretly rooting for the Lakers to put together a nice little win streak so the Suns can beat that ass again in the first round?
No. I'm rooting for the Lakers to stay squarely in 11th place and be out of the playoffs because that's even better, I think, than the Suns beating them again. And I was going to completely fade all your picks until I saw that I'd have to pick the Lakers. I said, nah, correct. I'm good. I don't want to troll Johnny that bad today.
Well, so I had gone the opposite direction to begin the second half because I thought the Lakers were going to make a run. I thought LeBron was going to put the team on his back, and his point totals to begin the second half of after the All-Star break were fantastic, and they still weren't winning. At that point, I bailed ship real quick. This is an old team. This is a team with minimal value. Even if you try to trade Anthony Davis, like what are you even getting in return? I do think they trade LeBron. And it feels like if this is it for the Lakers, I think they could be going into probably a half decade rebuild plus, because I think players, I don't think there's an interest in playing there anymore. There are 13 games under 500 for a reason. It's an old roster. And there's no solution that is, I mean, that's why I love the NFL. You can flip your roster over in 2 off seasons. The NBA is, if you make poor decisions like this, and I'm sure that's, I would pay DeAndre Ayton, but there are concerns about durability and paying big men. I mean, it can screw you over. And look what's happened with Anthony Davis and the Lakers.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I think they're in for a world of hurt, and I have no problem with that. I actually approve that message. So
thank you so much. Well, here's something else you can approve. I've got some props for tonight, as do you. My prop is to double down on what's going on in Milwaukee. I feel like I have too much momentum with Milwaukee now, and it's going to have bad juju for the Suns in the playoffs. But they're playing really well. Giannis and Chris Middleton, if they each have 10 rebounds, Giannis just had 14 the other night. Middleton's capable. Plus 950 on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Throw $10 on that, and that could pay out in a big way. That's my favorite prop of maybe the entire week, specifically after I went 0 for 2 on my props yesterday. Espo, what are your thoughts on that?
it's a tall task for Middleton to get to the 10. There's a reason.
Yeah, but
plus
Brooklyn's
950.
not great under the basket. They're a guard team.
No, I mean, look, hey, if you're gonna try to find a plus 950 a chance to take, I mean that's a good one, but there's a reason it's plus 950. It's a long shot, but I think it's if you're gonna bet a long shot, it's not the worst to do. So
for those of you who are curious, the Lakers are again on national TV tonight as they take on the Jazz, because why the hell not? They tip off at 7:00 on TNT. Thankfully, that Bucks and Nets matchup predates it at 4:30 tonight, Arizona time. It's a running joke on this program that Shane and I always check to see how many times the Lakers are on national TV. Is there a flex option in the NBA like there is in the NFL, or is that not a thing?
Yeah, it's tough because the game has to be on Thursday to flex it. Like you're not moving a game from tomorrow to Thursday to flex it, so it becomes problematic at times.
Gotcha. Why don't you tell us what you got for a prop tonight? Do you have a prop for us?
I do have a prop for you.
Let's see it.
I have it Nets to win by 7 to 9 points at a
Wow.
plus 800. So
really
I'm doubling
phasing
down.
my Bucks pick here. I'm going all in on the Bucks. You are not. Only
I'm not.
2 men enter the cage. 1 man exits. Only 1 man exits. And you should exit over to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and also take your winnings. Head on over to gophnx.com, become a member, get exclusive content. Come hang with Espo and myself via the members Discord. Get the phenomenal writings of my many talented peers, including my new peer on PHNX Cardinals Live, Mr. Bo Brock. And speaking of PHNX Cardinals Live tonight, myself, it's weird, Espo. I've got myself and Bo and then Frank. It's like my 2 kids are meeting each other for the first time at 4 p.m. And I'm the parent, right? I've got 1 child, I've got the other stepchild, and they're meeting together. And I hope everything goes okay.
Yeah, I was thinking more the child from a relationship you didn't want anybody to know about, with Poe coming in.
That's
but
true.
we can go with the stepchild, whatever you want. But good luck with that. I've got my own group of children to deal with at 2 p.m. on the Sun show. So
that's true. Bo is definitely my mistress's child, my second family, if you will. That has become all too real, and now I have to face reality. But in all seriousness, that is today, 4 p.m. as we're talking Bruce Arians, his legacy in Arizona. Espo, your legacy on this show is second to none, my friend.
My legacy around all the shows is second to none, and don't you forget it.
We will see if Shane makes his way back on a PHNX Bets Daily Friday podcast tomorrow at noon. Until then, I'm Johnny Venerable at Twitter, at Johnny Venerable. This is Espo, at Espo on Twitter. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. PHNX Sports on YouTube. Check it out now, and we'll see you tomorrow.